This is Rob Van Dam, and you're watching Cold TV. Bam.
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome back to Pro Wrestling 60, where we talk about everything that happened in the world of professional wrestling from this past week. I'm XLJ the OG, joined by my partner in crime, my brother from another mother. Apparently, this week from Greenwich, Connecticut, Mr. B-Roll. B-Roll, we're back. We're back.
Oh,
Hey.
what? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, put down the Papa H book that was like for kids back in 2000. We got a show to do here.
Sorry. Just catching up a little bit of light reading here. Welcome, folks, to another episode of PW60. That's right, we are back. The boys are back. The boys are back in town. All of those
It's
songs,
been a
all
minute.
those analogies, all those analogies apply here. I don't think that while we were away, a whole lot happened. So
No, not at all. It's crazy. It's like the week we come back, it's like literally the shit hit the fan. We're going to talk about all of it. And so much so that the network has actually allowed us, extended us some time for this episode.
yes,
So,
yes,
yeah.
we do have at least a 5-minute overrun, if not more, and we are
I heard
commercial
almost a
free.
30-minute overrun, brother. But we'll see. We're probably going to be pushing those boundaries. So, and as you can tell, I obviously not in my studio. If you follow me or friends with me, being real with y'all, sold my house. So this is kind of like a temporary studio for me, if you will. So I do apologize if you hear some sounds and whatnot. And also, too, I'm getting over, and we're actually still suffering from a upper respiratory infection. That shit is real. Everybody stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Don't worry. I'm on antibiotics. I'm on the mends, or I'm trying to. So, yeah. Anyways, we got a lot to talk about, B-roll.
Yeah, we do. And as we always say here on PW60, the clock starts now, but don't pay too much attention to it today.
Yeah. Well, our top story this week is the Royal Rumble just happened. We are now officially on the road to WrestleMania. First things first, B-roll. What did you think of the Royal Rumble overall?
I mean, it was all right. It was all right. Both the Rumble matches were solid, and yeah. As a greedy wrestling fan, part of me always wants more, but no, they were definitely solid.
I think the Rumble matches were great. I think it's obvious what the better one was, and we'll talk about that. The two matches in between, they were meh. I thought, I mean, the U.S. title match was fine, just kind of a finish, but we'll talk about that. But first and foremost, let's talk about the men's Royal Rumble, the main event. And speaking of the main event, oh boy, what a way to start the Rumble. As main event, Jey Uso drew number 1, and Jimmy Uso drew number 2. Let me ask you this. Is this a prelude to these two going one-on-one at WrestleMania, you think?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of get that inclination too. But man, oh man, I loved like Jimmy Uso, just his facials, just the look of expressions on his face when Jimmy was coming out, man. Oh my gosh, it was so awesome. Excuse me. But yeah, the what a way to start the Rumble. And by the way, I think it's the first time in history that two brothers have ever started a Royal Rumble match. I don't think that's ever been done before.
Huh.
Which is pretty crazy, man. But we saw all sorts of surprises throughout the night, and one of them in the men's Royal Rumble is Andrade is back in the WWE. How'd you feel about his presentation in this matchup?
I thought it was all right. He did had a standoff with like Gunther, which that's a match I would like to see. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes from here, because Santos Escobar was like trying to get him to like team up, and he was kind of like no. So it's interesting to see, like, will he align with the LWO? Will he align with Legado del Fantasma, or just kind of be on his own? We shall see.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what he does. I think he'll be pushed better too as well. And I think honestly, he's like a fine wine, man. He just gets better with age. So I'm excited to see what happens with Andrade next, and now that he's back home in the WWE. Excuse me. Sorry. Like I say, man, working with the elements here. Another surprise on the night was Pat McAfee was in the Royal Rumble. Well, first of all, we didn't even know McAfee was going to be like on color commentary. And lo and behold, he shows up at the beginning of the show, and then they hit his music in the Rumble. Now, I've heard several different theories on this. One of them was that like he was replacing Brock Lesnar. And I know we're going to talk about that shit in a little bit. Another I heard was just like they wanted just to do it as a rib on him, because my understanding is McAfee had no idea he was actually going to be in the Rumble. Do you think that's the truth, though? Do you think he did it now?
I don't know. I think he knew before his music hit. They could have gotten his ear and told him,
like his ear or something. Yeah,
like in his ear. But
yeah, I think so. Like I think I don't know. Like his facial expressions was hilarious, but definitely wasn't dressed to wrestle. That's for sure, with cowboy boots and stuff. But
yeah,
nonetheless, it was great to see Pat McAfee back. I've also heard too. Speaking of the Lesnar spot, I've also heard too that Braun Breaker was actually put in as like his replacement, and like pretty much like the stuff they were going to do with Lesnar, they did with Breaker. So, and there's a rumor going around saying that Braun could be getting called up to the main roster. So, who knows? We'll have to just wait and see. But I love the finish of this match for obvious reasons. But I thought the final four was great with Cody and Punk and Drew. I'm sorry again, folks. You got to bear with me. With Cody and Drew and Gunther in there. Also, I love too. Like we forgot to mention this. Sammy came back at number 30. That was kind of a little bit of a surprise. But the final two coming down to Punk and Cody, the back and forth there, the storytelling there. And Cody wins the Rumble. Were you surprised Cody won?
Yes and no. I had it convinced in my head that with how things were going from like the recent time, that Gunther was going to win and was going to challenge Seth. And then, of course, there's the Rock factor, and is the Rock going to show up? And
so I was really happy. Like I know some people may not be, but I was really happy he was at 30 because I had a feeling in the pit of my stomach he was going to show up at the end.
We'll see what happens at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, but I mean, everything they pointed to. I mean, even Cody pointed to that sign, and he pointed over to Roman. So it looks like Cody, hopefully, we pray to God he finishes the story at WrestleMania. I cannot do another year of Roman. I'm sorry. and I'll get to a reason why. But overall, I thought I was happy with the men's Rumble. But it definitely, I don't think it was the best Rumble of the night, was it? Oh, and of course, by the way, Cody Rhodes is our wrestler of the week here on PW60. Let's talk about that women's Royal Rumble, though. I just wanted to jump the gun, get into it, and of course, start off the night with one of the bigger surprises of the night. Naomi is back in the WWE. Got a huge standing ovation. Everybody's happy to see her. She was in the match for like a good 40 to 50 minutes too, I think. So,
Yeah, good long time.
were you marking out when I'm amazing hit the speakers in the arena?
Yeah.
Nothing. Okay, well, obviously, okay. I guess that means you. All right, not marking out like everybody else, but okay. But this was a moment to mark out on, folks. Like probably the biggest surprise of the night. Knockouts champion Jordan Grace was in the Royal Rumble, and they full Batum acknowledged like TNA. She had a hell of a performance too in the Rumble. I thought she was very well represented in the Rumble. She got her stuff, and she lasted for a good bit. I think they really gave her a lot of shine, and I think this is just the beginning of a beautiful relationship between TNA and WWE. Like, were you pretty shocked about this one when she came out? Did you at least mark out on this one, for God's sakes?
I did. I did because
Diana, you would have lost your shit. But
yeah, you hear rumors, right? But you never know if they're actually going to come true. So yes, this was a pretty cool moment.
And yes, Jordan Grace showed up in the Royal Rumble at number 5, but she wasn't the only surprise. Jade Cargill finally makes her in-ring WWE debut, and boy, oh boy, what a debut it was, right, B-roll?
Looking like $1 million.
No kidding. I mean, going right after Nia Jax and just like pretty much, dominating her and single-handedly eliminating her. I love the look on Becky Lynch.
Which makes everybody happy.
Oh, yeah. I love the look of Becky Lynch's face. Like, when she did, just like, oh. And then also, too, like, thank God, like, when she picked her up and, like, threw her out, like, Nia wasn't like, oh, my hole. You were thinking that. But, and also, too, Liv Morgan returned back from injury at number 30. Surprised to see her. It was great to see her. She had another outstanding showing, but by far, the showing of the night has to go to Bayley, who entered at number 3. She went the distance. She broke Rhea Ripley's record, and she is the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble, thus earning a main event shot at any title she wants at WrestleMania.
Got a question.
Yeah.
Do you think she was supposed to break the record, or timing was just off?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I didn't really think about that. I just know, like, I love the story that was told within this match with all these other things we talked about. I loved the whole stuff with the Kabuki Warriors and stuff. Like, we got a plan, and that kind of like her being surprised. I mean, my opinion on it. I think the story's going to build to where Damage Control kicks her out, and I think it's going to be Bayley against Io Sky at WrestleMania. And I think that'll be a tremendous matchup.
Yeah.
But also, too, that crowd, man, they were hot for her, man. She was like, this is kind of like the beginning of that turn of her being babyface, essentially.
Yep.
But I was rooting for her. I marked out when she won. I was pulling for her. So, and she deserves it, man. She's busted her ass. She is like one of the greats. Everybody talks about like, oh, who's the greatest 4 horsewoman? And like out of them, and there's an argument for all 4 of them. But for me personally, Bayley's my favorite. So I was happy to see her get the win. just adds more to her Hall of Fame career. And of course, the Women's Royal Rumble had to be our match of the week. One more thing I want to say on this matchup, too, or actually two things. An unsung hero I felt in this matchup was Chelsea Green. I love the spots they did with Chelsea Green, and they were just beating the shit out of her all throughout it. The accidental stuff too, with like Piper Niven and stuff, man. Oh, that was so good. And there's my dogs barking. So yes, hey, gotta work with the elements. Upper respiratory infection, no studio, got dogs. But damn it, we're putting this show on nonetheless for you people because we love you. But match of the week had to be the Women's Royal Rumble. And I'm going to go ahead and say this too. I felt like this was the best Women's Royal Rumble match of all time, in my opinion. I mean, you and I were talking about it before the show. This is kind of like the blueprint for how you should book a Royal Rumble match. I mean, it was a great match. Like, just the way it progressed all throughout. One more thing we forgot to mention in the men's, kind of, but also involved in the women's. Another MVP, unsung hero of the night, R-Truth. Oh, my God. Him coming out to his number that he actually was in the men's Rumble, coming out to the women's Rumble, and all that confusing and stuff. And then what he did in the men's Rumble, where he's waiting for the hot tag. We got our first ever hot tag in a Royal Rumble match. R-Truth is a national treasure. I love that man dearly. Like, just everything he's doing now is so good. I know you had to mark out for that hot tag. No? You're muted. You're muted. You were muted.
Back?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was having some connection issues there. So, but yeah, this show's just all over the place. But I did love the R-Truth stuff for sure.
Yeah, the R-Truth stuff was awesome. It was great. But also at the Royal Rumble, we did get a fatal four-way match brought to you by Slim Jim with LA Knight, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. I mean, this is no disrespect to these four guys. By far, in my opinion, this was the worst Roman Reigns title defense match in this run, I think. This match, I did not give a shit. And like, I'm so tired of this. They do the same damn finish, dude, over and over again. Fucking Solo comes out, or Jay comes out, or I'm sorry, or Jimmy comes out in a hoodie or something. Like, oh, where did he come from? Ooh, pulls the referee out. It's just this. I don't mind it. It's just like it's the same fucking shit. Do something original. That's why I'm so over this title contest. I'm sorry, but I mean, if they don't finish, if Cody doesn't finish the story at Mania and Roman wins, that Philly crowd is going to fucking riot. They will burn that fucking stadium to the ground. I'm going to be there for it. I'm going to be leading the charge, damn it. Because I'm sorry. No disrespect to Roman, but we're done. We're done. We're done. And this match right here proves it. It's just like it's gotten so fucking stale. Like, who gives a shit? Like, what did you make of this matchup?
Yeah, it was just there. I mean,
yeah, worst match of the night by far. I thought this match sucked, honestly. Now, this match did surprise me a little bit. KO going up against Logan Paul. Not a bad matchup, honestly. Excuse me. Logan Paul, of course, retaining his title, but by DQ. Kind of a wonky finish there at the end. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller coming down, getting interference in. I don't know, like that kind of ruined it for me a little bit, but still, It was an interesting matchup in a sense. It was kind of we got to see kind of more of a technical side from Logan Paul. Would you say?
Yeah, yeah, it was. You know, it surprises me that this match was better than the four way. Honestly, I mean, neither
Yeah,
one
because I
of them
didn't think
were.
the four way would suck that bad, honestly, because you had such great competitors in it. But it's just like I say, the finish is so redundant. I'm so sick of it. It's just like come up with something different, man. And I could have easily fixed it, but it's just like, let's just do the same shit over and over again. But
Yeah,
nonetheless, the Rumble match is by far saved this show. It made the show. Like I say, this match wasn't that bad. Do you think there'll be a rematch between these?
I hadn't thought that far really.
I
I'll
think there
probably
will be. I
say
think they'll have it at the Elimination Chamber, be my guess.
okay. Yeah, I guess that could make sense timeline wise, or
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll just have to
Wait and see.
wait and see. Yeah.
But the Royal Rumble was awesome. But before we talk about this next segment, though, we got to give a huge shout out to our friends, the Wrestle Talk Wolfpack, who was all at the Royal Rumble and got to meet up and stuff. Speaking of which, why don't we go to Bree with our Tribal Queen tidbit of the week, and then we'll follow that up with Dad Hat with his advice of the week.
A-Town.
It's that time of the week again. Dad Hat's Life Lessons of the Week. Brought to you by World Championship Wreckage. Find them on YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. And also by the Wrestle Talk Wolfpack. 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. every Wednesday, twitch.tv/Wrestle Talk Wolfpack. And now, here's Dad Hat.
All right, kids. You know how I said, be careful who you meet off of the internet. The only thing I will add to that is be careful who you get in a car with from the internet. Where did you come from?
I love it, man. Love it. Those guys, huge shout out to them. Still happy they got to finally meet up in person and stuff. We know how awesome of a feeling that is when you get to meet up with some of your friends here off of TikTok and stuff. We got to experience that last September. So glad they had an awesome time and a great event. Well, let's talk about this, though, B-Roll. The big announcement, one of the big announcements of the week. Monday Night Raw is going to Netflix? What is going on here, dude?
Bringing a whole new definition to Netflix and chill.
Yeah, let's Netflix and Raw. Ooh, that doesn't sound right. But yes, so Netflix or Raw will be moving to Netflix officially in January of 2025. It's our understanding that Netflix is going to kind of focus more on live entertainment. So that's going to be interesting to see. I do think it also means they're going to increase their packages, of course. So they're going to have to in order to pay WWE. My God, did you see how much money they were getting on this deal? It's like $5 billion, essentially $1 billion a year. But I don't know. I think this is like the next evolution for wrestling. I mean, wrestling's so much of it's watched on streaming services now anyway. So, and I mean, Netflix, let's call a spade. It reaches a wide span of people. So, I mean, honestly, we're going to get to a point where like 10 years from now, dude, I don't even think cable television is going to exist. It's all going to be streaming, man. That's just the way the world's working. So,
It's just the way the cookie crumbles.
That's right. But this is exciting. I think this is great for everybody. Of course, my understanding is events that are like overseas or something's going to be on here as well. I'm sure probably a lot of the library is going to move over from Peacock over to Netflix as well. I think. I don't know. But huge move for WWE. And that's not the only thing that they announced this week, though. How about this? The jabroni beaten, pie eaten, eyebrow raisin, Brahma Bull, The Rock himself, was named to the TKO board of directors. Were you shocked about this one too?
I just got one question for you. Do you think the TKO board of directors can smell what The Rock is cooking?
I think they can. I mean, it's a great move. I think it's going to be great for old parties. I mean, The Rock promotes like at no other. He gets the rights back to his name. It's a huge move. It's a move in the right direction. I'm excited to see this. And now he truly is at the head of the table. Am I right?
I mean, true story.
Legit.
I do have another question for you, though.
Yeah.
Do you know any of the other names of the board members?
Not off the top of my
It
head.
doesn't matter what their names are.
Ha. Well, a lot of great things happened this week in the world of wrestling for WWE. But we got to talk about this. We don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but we got to talk about it. Huge allegations coming out this week on one Vincent Kennedy McMahon. It's so disgusting that Mr. B-roll had to turn his camera off, and I don't blame him. So it came out this week that Miss Vince McMahon. I hate even saying this out loud because honestly, when it's announced and I read the stuff on it, it just sent chills down my spine. Like, I haven't felt like this disgusted with like anything in wrestling, like since the whole Chris Benoit incident. Like, this just horrifies me. But Vince McMahon being accused of sex trafficking, supposedly doing a we're not going to go into detail. Like, you can read it, look it up if you want to. I don't recommend you do, but doing some very lewd acts with other board members, supposedly too. Part of like Brock Lesnar's agreement with resigning to WWE was her being promised to. It's just I hate this. I hate fucking saying this out loud, and it hurts, man. It hurts being like, I love professional wrestling. You know that.
Yeah.
And I love all the companies out there. But it's like when this dropped, it didn't shock me. It's like I could see this fucking evil son of a bitch doing it. And just like it sickens me to think of all the years this has been going on, probably. I mean, it also came out too, like Shane pretty much, like the relationship between him and Shane, pretty much Shane left there because he was tired of all of his like bullshit. Yeah, just like I say, we're not going to go into detail. God only knows what's with Stephanie and stuff. But at the end of the day, though, shockingly enough, because a lot of people were like, "Oh God, this is going to go on forever." Vince McMahon did actually resign. Like, he's officially gone. He is gone from WWE, TKO. Matter of fact, they're already like eliminating like his profile page and everything from the WWE. And honestly, I think that's some of the best punishment that can happen to this sick son of a bitch, to where just his whole, like, every contribution or whatever he had to the world of wrestling needs to be erased or just forgotten about. I mean, you can't erase it, but it needs to be forgotten about. He needs to get credit for nothing. And I'll just say this to kind of close it out, my opinion. There is a special place in hell for people like Vincent Kennedy McMahon. I said what I said, and I'm done talking about it. I don't know about you, but yeah.
Yeah. All I will say is this. I made the mistake of reading through some of the screenshots and some of the messages that were, included in the lawsuit, and it literally made me want to vomit.
Yeah, it's sad. It's a
It
sad,
really
like
is.
such a great week. Everything else that happened, and this bullshit happens, but I think they could move on from this. I hope so anyway. And I just God only knows what's going to come out like with the people
Yep.
involved with this shit. Like anybody involved, they need to clean house. And I think Ronda Rousey put out a tweet. I actually agree with her. Like one of the first ones that needs to go is Bruce Pritchard. That fucker needs to be gone. A bunch of them do in his inner circle. But like I say, the good thing is and honestly, we here on Cold TV on Pro Wrestling 60. After this, we are never going to talk about this son of a bitch again. Like I say, there's a special place in
Yep.
heaven
He's
for this guy.
he's out of wrestling, so we don't even have to talk about him. He's out of it. So
Well,
there's that.
I know. Yeah, I will say this though. After all this, I feel like we need our spirits raised, and there's only one man here on Pro Wrestling 60 who can do it. Let's go to the best scout machine.
Dude, right now it is a weird time to be a wrestling fan. It's really crushing with what's going on right now, what's happening in all reality. So I figured, take my hand, and I'll show you what's like in other realities, in other dimensions, in parallel universes. Here's a reality where Sparky Plug has been the Universal Heavyweight Champion for over 6 years, and no one's getting tired of it or even complaining about it on the internet. Except maybe Parlor. In this reality, women's Royal Rumble have been the norm, and in the year 2024, we're having the first ever men's Royal Rumble. I can't whistle. In this reality, WCW won the Monday Night Wars, and wrestlers point to the Starrcade sign at every Royal Rumble. And this year, the national anthem will be sung by Shania Twain! Haha, first one of 2024. I'm proud of myself. In this reality, Roman Reigns is actually way shorter than he is in ours. That's him right there. That's Roman Reigns. In this reality, Hulk Hogan is actually not racist, but everyone still hates him because he likes to put pineapple on his pizza. Wait, what's that? Oh, it came out now? Sorry, the audio of him saying the N-word just came out. Nope, sorry, never mind. He's racist in this one. He's racist in every one of them? Fun fact, there was a reality where there was actually 3 evil brothers that looked just like me. And they're all dead. Because of me. I hope I got your mind off the zaniness that's been going on. Vince McMahon is gone! Woo! Ow, I hit my face with my fucking...
Oh, best scout, we love you, buddy. That man.
I hope his face is okay.
I hope his face is okay. Yeah. Well, speaking of faces, we found out this week who would be on the covers of WWE 2K24, and we found out Cody is going to be on the cover of the what do you kids call it in these video games? The basic package,
Standard edition.
Standard edition, and then on the advanced edition, it's going to be Bianca and Rhea. What do you think of the covers? I think that's very fitting that all 3 of them should be on them. What do you think?
Yeah, I love it. I'm excited for this game to come out. It looks good. I think there's going to be a Road to WrestleMania game mode that's kind of going over the history of WrestleMania.
Yeah, 40 years of WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
I just say this: the AI commercial stuff that was kind of freaking me out with like Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold. It's like,
yeah, some of them were better done than others. But yeah, I plan on buying this game when it comes out, and this is probably gonna be the first time I'm probably I think I will like
pre-order.
I don't know if I'll pre-order, but I think I'm gonna like buy like whatever the whatever like their highest edition of it because I think there's even a step above the Rhea and Bianca cover.
Isn't there like a 40 years of WrestleMania cover too or something as well?
Yeah, there is, I think so. Even I
Well,
can't think of that terminology
yeah,
right now.
I'm an old fart. I just remember you bought a video game and it had everything on it, man. Give me my Nintendo. Super Mario 3 is still the greatest video game ever made. I'm just saying. But nonetheless, congratulations to Cody, Rhea, and Bianca. Um, Also, this is crazy that we're just now getting to this story, but Seth Rollins seriously injured. We don't know if he's going to make it to WrestleMania. He's saying he's going to, but like recovery time for his injury is what, 3 to 4 weeks or 3 to 4 months? I think they said. And is it? I believe you're gonna forgive me. Is it an MCL sprain? I think it is.
I
Yeah.
think you hit the nail on the head.
I hope to God he can make it there. Because I mean, I still feel like all things are pointing towards Seth and Punk at Mania, but we wish him a speedy recovery. I mean, Seth freaking Rollins. If anybody could recover that quickly, it's him. So I mean, he has done it before.
Ironically enough, I have had that same injury actually.
No kidding. How was it?
It definitely hurts like a mother when it happens.
Excuse me.
And I can say that. I remember it was in junior high. When I was playing basketball. I don't really remember. I remember it was just a sprain though, because I didn't have to have surgery. But
gotcha.
I don't remember what the recovery time was like. But
well, like I say, if anybody can do it, it's Seth Rollins. But we found that out this past week on Monday Night Raw. Speaking of Raw, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. A pretty loaded show. Once again, as it was like the go-home show for Royal Rumble. I mean, the biggest moment, though, was the Cody Punk promo, man. My God. Were those boys cooking or were they cooking, B-roll?
Yeah, I mean, and really, some of the, in my opinion, like the best part of it is when they were saying no words at all, and Cody kind of gives them the shove, and then they end up going basically nose to nose, and I mean, I feel like that's part of what got everybody speculating, and we're going to get into all that too. Just a little bit, but yeah, Raw definitely was a loaded show. The tag match was solid.
Yeah, the stuff with Imperium and New Day, that's kind of a fun rivalry. I'm digging that. And this Monday, we're going to get to see Kofi Kingston challenge Gunther for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to lose, but I mean, at least he gets a title shot.
Yep.
And then, of course, the main event saw Damian Priest against Drew McIntyre in a match. Big meaty men slapping meat. Thumbs up for Monday Night Raw. Let's talk about the go-home show for Friday Night SmackDown. And in the main event, we got to see one L.A. Knight take on Solo Sikoa. Also got to see the Randy Orton promo. I got to be honest. I did not know there was a song about Randy Orton until SmackDown. I had to look it all up, and there's he's even in the music video and stuff. It's like he RKO's a guy on a baseball field or something. It's weird, man. Yeah, you're like, what? Yeah, you're gonna have to look it up, dude. It's like another one of the I think it was another Latin artist, like Bad Bunny, essentially.
Huh.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, very much so.
We did see the I guess you call it a debut of Elektra Lopez on the main roster with joining Legado del Fantasma, taking out Zelina Vega.
Yep. And also, we got new women's tag team champions as the Kabuki Warriors defeat Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. Great matchup, by the way.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Not really shocked that happened.
But no, not at all. No, especially with the story they're kind of telling with damage control. Yeah, I'm not shocked there at all.
Yes, and then we
Um,
did also see a Trick Williams appearance.
Yeah, another one making their kind of main roster debut. Man, dude, that SmackDown crowd, dude, they were into it in Miami. They're like, whoop that trick. Whoop that trick.
I think he's over.
I think the kid's over. But
Yeah.
yeah, overall, like SmackDown was an awesome show, I thought. Like a great go home show for SmackDown as well. So, well, we got to talk about AEW at some point, right? Like, we love AEW, but it's just like so much happened in WWE this week, man. It was nuts. But let's talk about Dynamite first of all. Dynamite, I thought was again a great wrestling show. First thought, Tony Storm. Tony Storm is a national treasure, like R-Truth is a national treasure. The split screen, the black and white with her and Deonna Purrazzo. Oh my god. And then Luther getting attacked afterwards. Did you see the promo with her? Like that she cut? Yeah, oh my god! Like knuckles deep. Tony Storm, do not quit being yourself. My goodness. I know this is gonna make you happy. Hangman's like kind of getting back to his form. What you say? Hell of a matchup against Penta on Dynamite.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that was a solid opener because that's what opened the show, right?
Well,
Yeah,
Joe had the promo, but yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. That was
Thunder Rosa in action too.
Yeah. This was kind of like a tailor-made for Mr. B-Roll Dynamite. Had Hangman, had Deonna, had Thunder Rosa.
Claimed.
Yeah.
It was a great success, but I want to talk about that main event. The Cope Open. A matchup I never in my wildest dreams thought I would see. I don't even think I ever even thought about doing this on like a 2K game. Minoru Suzuki, Murder Grandpa against Adam Copeland. And they just beat the shit out of each other, man. Just trading the blows back and forth. Like how like big of a like bucket list like thing you think this was for Adam Copeland, like to go up against Minoru Suzuki?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure he probably never thought it would happen, but the fact that it happened, it's like that's dope as hell, man.
Yeah. It's one of those matches you never thought would happen.
Not my wildest dreams, dude. But it was a great matchup and a great way to close out a great Dynamite, I thought. So let's talk about Friday night, though, on Rampage. Got to open up with John Moxley going up against Lee Moriarty. Commander winning that four-way. Were you a little surprised he won that match? That's kind of boring for El Hijo del Fike now.
Yeah. I would have loved to see Vikino win it, but I can't say I'm surprised the Commander won. I think he figured one of those two were going to win. No disrespect to any of the others.
Yeah. And then the Anna Jay, Ruby Soho, kind of into that saga with Ruby and Angelo. So, but I thought Rampage was a fun show. And Takeshita going up against Christopher Daniels. Looks like we got a couple challenges laid out for Chris Jericho and the Don Callis family over the next couple of weeks on AEW television. But to me, AEW's show of the week by far was Collision. That show was nuts, dude. I mean, they had to load it up going up against the Royal Rumble. I mean, personally, obviously I watched the Rumble, but I did DVR this, and I was so glad I did because, like, this show was dope. Maybe one of the better collisions I've seen, honestly. I love. There's so much that happened on this show, man. Orange Cassidy Commander was a great matchup. I always, anytime I get Lady Frost on my television, I'm excited. And her going up against Mariah May was great. The Eddie Kingston and Willie Mack match was fun. But there's a couple things I really want to highlight on this show, in my opinion. Like, first off, this Blue Justice himself, Yuji Nagata, back on TNT for like the first time. And, well, I guess he did go against Moxley on that one Dynamite, but still, though. Like wrestling on a Saturday night on Turner Broadcasting for probably the first time in over 30-some years. And going up against Bryan Danielson. I know this had to be a huge Bryan Danielson bucket match off of his list, which I think they may have met before, but I think it was only in like tag matches in Japan. What'd you think of this matchup, dude?
Just it kind of was what you thought it'd be. Just it was a wrestling match. They got down on the mat and they wrestled.
Yeah, I thought Yuji Nagata looked great, man, for his age. Oh my gosh, I was so impressed with what he was able to do. Because I mean, I've watched some of his other matches in New Japan, like here as he's gotten older, and it's just not the same. But dude, this was like the Yuji Nagata I remember, man, back in the day. So hell of a showing, great matchup. Absolutely love this. But this wasn't the only thing I loved about Collision. I was so happy to see the return of the professor herself, Serena Deeb. She's back from injury. It's been over a year since she's wrestled. She looked great, and she's pretty much put the women's division on notice. What'd you make of seeing Serena Deeb return to AEW, my friend?
I think the biggest thing I would say is I loved the presentation.
Yeah.
It's one of those. It made me care more than I thought I actually would, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've always been a big fan of hers, but man, I was happy to see her back, and I can't wait to see where she's going to go from here. Be on the lookout, Julia Hart, Tony Storm, because she's wanting some gold, and it may happen sooner rather than later. But B-Roll, let's talk about that main event, dude. The Escape the Cage matchup. FTR, Daniel Garcia going up against House of Black. Of course, seemed like it wasn't going to be Daniel Garcia in this matchup because he did get taken out earlier in the night. It looked like Mark Briscoe was going to be in the match. But then when Mark came down, House of Black attacks him. We get kind of like a 2-on-1 for a little while, and then Daniel Garcia comes out. Like, to be as great as Garcia has been, like, this was another star-making performance for him in this matchup. This was an awesome main event. FTR, I mean, you knew it was with the 6 guys that are involved in the match, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Like, did your mind exploded, like, watching this matchup? Because I know you love both of these guys.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of those. It's weird. It's kind of been a weird feud for me because I don't necessarily. I'm not super invested into the story that they're trying to tell, but I love these people in the ring. So does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense, man.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, FTR and Daniel Garcia pick up the win. Daniel Garcia, like, really shining in this matchup, especially at the end with the finish and stuff. Happy to see it. Yeah, buddy. Where do you think Daniel Garcia goes from here after this?
It's interesting because rumor has it that he's in a contract year.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. But I mean, I know WWE dominated the headlines this week, but AEW had a pretty good week too, man. And at the end of the day, once again, you get that healthy competition like this is, man. It makes it all the more better for both products. And ultimately, the fans are the winners.
That's right. Yeah. And believe it or not, we actually have even more wrestling to talk about.
Yeah, we ain't done yet. Also, we got to talk about what we found out this week. It looks like, and I thought at first this was going to be like, okay, this is going to be Sting's last match. But no, in 2 weeks on Dynamite, Big Bill and Ricky Starks are defending those tag titles against Sting and Darby Allin. I'd say Sting and Darby Allin are about to win the tag titles. What do you say?
You think?
I would say so, yeah. And that's cool, man. Since staying out with the tag title reign, hell yeah, I'm for it. So, uh, but I mean, I think we all know at the end of the day, it's ultimately going to be the Bucks that he wrestles in his last match, which I don't know. I'm not too keen on that, but I get it. It is what it is. I would have preferred it to be FTR against Sting and Darby, or Sting and Darby 1-on-1, but I don't know if Sting's really. I think it's safer for him to do a tag match, and the safer it is for him, the more I'm for it. So, because that's what matters at the end of the day, you know. So
Yeah.
But also this weekend,
I was gonna say, I will say, I do love the Young Bucks characters right now, though. I
will admit
I am
it
enjoying
has
them.
been. Yeah, I'll admit it has been interesting seeing that. But also this week in AEW, we found out that the power rankings are back. Which, I'm not being honest, I never really paid attention to this. I didn't even know they really went away.
Ah!
I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. But they're back, so that's cool. But I mean, what can you say? So, well, it's the time of the show where we need to spice things up a little bit. So that being said, let's go to Spicy Guac with a spicy take.
Spicy Guac, reminding you, you need to watch Ring of Honor Wrestling. There are hidden gems and bangers going on that you just have to peep. No highlights, no YouTube anything. Watch it. Watch it in real time. Go subscribe to the Honor Club. And then come back here and then thank everybody at PW60 for reminding you how bangers are made.
The man ain't wrong there. Ring of Honor is another great promotion. There's just so much wrestling, bro, in so little time. Am I right?
I completely feel you there.
Well, we also forgot to we got to talk about this, man. NXT on Tuesday night was a great show as well. We got to see Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin advance to the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. We got to see the in-ring NXT debut of one Ren Sinclair going up against Lash Legend. We got to see Lexis King was in action as Trey Bearhill tried to get revenge, but didn't really work out for him. But thanks for playing nonetheless. What'd you make of the Supernova sessions with Lola Weiss coming on there? I got a little heated, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
A little spiciness right there. And then in the main event, we got to see Trick Williams go up against Josh Briggs. And then the contract signing for Vengeance Day between Laya Valkyrie and Roxanne. And speaking of which, we are on the road. I think we're, less than a week away from Vengeance Day?
We're getting there. But first, we got to talk about...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, who could forget? Ava Raine is now the general manager of NXT, which she's now the youngest general manager in WWE history, apparently. Awesome, though, with seeing William Regal back on the screen. That's what made me pop.
Yep. It's like, oh, my father was voted to the board of the directors. Next day, I am the general manager of NXT.
There you go, dude. There you go. And I know our good friend Shanna Hill was marking the hell out when she saw Regal on TV. But anyways, yeah, let's talk about Vengeance Day, which is coming up on February the 4th, this upcoming Sunday. We know Trick Williams will be in arguably the biggest match of his career yet, as he will challenge Ilya Dragunov for that NXT championship. We also know Laya Valkyrie will defend against Roxanne Perez. Also, we got the Dusty Rhodes final, the North American title. And so much more, man. Are you pumped for Vengeance Day, my friend?
I am pumped.
You looked pumped, my friend. Now, some sad news coming out of NXT this week, though. Cora Jade is out with an ACL injury. It just sucks because she just got back from injury. Now she's back out again. But she's already had surgery. She's on the road to recovery, and hopefully she gets healed up and back in the ring sooner than later. Did you see the? I'm sure you probably saw the footage of like CM Punk surprising her.
Yep.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I thought so because we all know Cordrade's a huge CM Punk fan. So, but we here at PW60, we want to wish Cordrade speedy recovery. Speaking of NXT, man, there's been some crazy ass rumors going around the world of wrestling, and that being this man right here, one Kazuchika Okada, supposedly signing with the WWE. A lot of like it almost was like confirmed or kind of confirmed-ish there at the earlier part of the week, but now it's like other parties are saying no, it's not happening. My concern with it is that I don't think he belongs in NXT, and I mean that is no disrespect to NXT. Okada is the type of personality you bring out like the night after WrestleMania, and he's like in the main event picture challenging the champion for the title or something like that. Shouldn't be on NXT in my opinion. But we do know Okada's contract has come up as he did wrestle his last match in Corkin Hall. Successfully defending the never openweight 6-man tag team titles. They have officially relinquished those titles now, though, and Okada got very emotional speech saying goodbye. Let me ask you this, B-Roll. Where do you think Okada's going to go?
You know, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah.
People feel like the safe bet is AEW, but you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. I think he goes to TNA.
I'd be surprised if that happened, but you never know. Anything can happen in the world of wrestling. Well, there's so much that's happened in New Japan Pro Wrestling since our last episode of PW60 from last year. We got to get caught up on a lot of things, and we got to go to our resident expert, the CDC, for a New Japan report.
Greetings from Uranus. It is I, the CDC 83, coming back to you, PW60, for a roundabout recap of things that have been going on since Wrestle Kingdom. But we'll start with Chaos. Most notable things so far to keep you up to date on: Okada is no longer contracted wrestler with New Japan Pro Wrestling. His last contracted match was the Never 3-Man Tag Title match, where they won and retained against TMDK. However, afterwards, as he was choked up and in tears, it was his last actual official contracted New Japan Wrestling match. They did actually vacate the title, so 3-man titles are currently not being held by anybody. Okada still does have a few matches with New Japan, but as a freelancer. So, moving on. United Empire. There's a lot here. All right, so Ospreay's last New Japan scheduled match is set as a cage match against Bullet Club. Akira has been targeted constantly by Bullet Club leading up to this cage match. This has started to cause some internal strife with him and the United Empire, but more specifically with his teammate in Catch 22, TJP, who has made it clear that not only is he trying to move up to the ranks and leave the junior division behind, but he's also kind of laying the groundwork to try and take over as leader of the United Empire, which technically, if you go to backstage comments left by the Great Khan, United Empire was founded with the idea that there was no leaders, that they were all equal and a collected effort to be together. So possibly laying the groundwork for some future storyline stuff there. We'll kind of have to wait and see what happens there. Great Khan is also the current KOPW title holder. Honestly, I hope he holds it the entire year and gets the trophy at the end. Moving on, let's talk Bullet Club. As mentioned, the Bullet Club War Dogs continue their feud against the United Empire ahead of their scheduled cage match. David Finlay is the IWGP Global Champion. His first title defense is set against Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler. This match, I believe, is going to be at the New Beginnings in Osaka, which will also be the same night that, getting to the next part, that Sonata and Naito will also go for the big title as well. As far as LIJ and Just Five Guys, that's about all you need to know. Honestly, everything they've been doing with them has been pretty boring so far. All right, now getting on to the most interesting group that there is going on in New Japan right now. The hottest faction going, House of Torture. Evil dethroned Tama Tonga for the Never title. His next challenger is Shota Umino following a successful victory over Rit Narita. Kanemaru failed to beat El Desperado for the junior title. Sho then tried to set himself up to be the next challenger, but Despy said, nah. I'm not even joking, that's pretty much it. Julia retained the Strong title. Tanahashi has retained the TV title in a match against Taguchi. Was later challenged by Matt Riddle. I'm not sure when that one's set to come up. It's possibly been reported, but I just don't recall off the top of my head. In case you also missed the news, Tanahashi is also the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling currently. Pretty interesting send-off. It'll be the original GOD versus the current GOD. So I'm not exactly, hopefully there'll be just, good feelings and there won't be any kind of a crazy turn of events, but you never know. They want to probably do something nice for a send-off, or they may want to set the groundwork for the people that are still going to be there. So we'll see. Moxley has begun to set his sights on Naito following his victory over Takagi. Match is set for Windy City Right in Chicago. Danielson versus Sabre is set for New Beginnings in Osaka. Jack Perry made his New Japan debut. Mustafa Ali also made a video package New Japan debut, setting his sights on Hiromu. We're not going to bleep his name. Watto tore his left ACL and is going to be out for surgery. As much goofing off as I do, I hate to hear that he actually got himself hurt, and I wish him well. I know, new year, new me. That's pretty much everything you need to know about what's been going on and things to get up to date on with New Japan since the happenings of Wrestle Kingdom this January. Well, the past year. It just feels like it's been a year already. Lots of crazy stuff in New Japan going on. Lots of interesting things to happen. Obviously, some talent's going out, but more talent will be coming in. They're bringing in all kinds of people. Keep in mind also that New Japan has got a whole structured partnership with pretty much just about all the Japanese promotions. They've also set up some new partnerships with some other Asian countries as well. So it'll be interesting to see what all comes down the line. So keep staying tuned to PW60. I've been the CDC83 of TikTok, coming at you with your New Japan report. So long from Uranus.
I hear they have great fudge there.
They do.
Yeah. Well, hey, so like you say, so much happened in the world of pro wrestling. GCW had a great weekend this weekend. They were in Tampa, of course, for the Rumble, the Rumble crowd. So Friday night, GCW's Look at Me took place. Hell of a main event. We got to see Mance Warner and Effie, this rivalry that's been building over months, finally kind of come to an head, but far from being settled, my friend. Pretty much, if you didn't see this, essentially the end of it was Mance Warner trying to set Effie and Allie on fire. Yes. Manser, I don't know what the hell happened to you, man, but you have gone loco, my friend. But yeah, great story being told there between those guys, man. I'm loving every minute of it, and it's just only begun. Want to talk about though Effie's Big Gay Brunch, which we had the privilege of going to the one in Chicago last year. If you ever get a chance, folks, seriously go to one of these shows. They are like the best show you'll go to. This show was so freaking great, man. B-roll, I don't know if you got a chance to see it or not, or see any highlights, but man, oh man, seriously, go back and watch the replay of it. It's well worth it. The main event was phenomenal with Boosie going up against the former Maximum Male Models, which that was hilarious, like the promos being cut there and stuff. Commentary was great too. Huge shout out to our boy Cole Radrick, who was on commentary for the Scramble match. Overall, man, like I say, GCW is just knocking it out of the park. Independent wrestling is at its best right now. There's so many great shows going on. Speaking of which, let's go to our buddy Michael for an independent report.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Michael with a independent wrestling event report. First off, we have House of Glory presents Reckoning, Saturday, March 2nd at the NYC Arena in Queens, Jamaica, Queens, New York. That is a 6 p.m. door time. You can get your tickets at houseofglorywrestling.com or check their Facebook page. Secondly, we have Wrestling Revolver and House of Glory, April 5th, 3 p.m. at the Trinity Center for Urban Life at 2212 Spruce Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That is during WrestleMania weekend, of course. You can get your ticket information at both House of Glory and Wrestling Revolver's Facebook pages. Thirdly, we had Defy Wrestling Presents 7. That is the 7-year anniversary event for Defy Wrestling. February 9th, Washington Hall, Seattle, Washington. DefyWrestling.com to get your tickets. Lastly, we have GCW Presents The Collective. You know anything about GCW, you know The Collective. Their group of events they do WrestleMania weekend. April 4th through the 6th, Philadelphia. You can get your tickets there at collectivephilly.eventbrite.com. Again, that is collectivephilly.eventbrite.com. You all have a good day.
Thank you, Michael. And hey, let y'all know some of those collective shows we will be covering exclusively here on Cole TV as part of our WrestleMania week, which expect an announcement to be coming that in the following weeks here. Now, also this week, we found out Kevin Patrick was released from the WWE. No disrespect, but I was just like, I never really connected with it. I'm sorry. I mean, he was okay. No Todd Pettengill, just saying.
Oh.
I don't know. It happened. He's probably thanking his lucky stars after all the crazy shit that happened. But anyways, like I said, we're moving on past that, and things are looking great for WWE. But also it was announced this week, or rumored to be, that there is a movie in the works about the Hart family. Of course, with the success of the Iron Claw based on the Von Erich family. The Hart family, we know their story. It's got some tragedies of its own too, as well. So I think that'd be interesting to see. And you know me, Bret Hart's my guy, so I'd love to see it. Supposedly Natalia is like actually a consultant or something on it. Of course, this is in the early works. Who's to say? I mean, there's thousands of movies that's like, goes into production or whatever and they get canceled. So. But it'd be cool to see. I don't know. Would you watch a Hart family movie?
Yeah. I would.
Yeah.
I would. The Hart family movie. It's just the name's in the title. Could be a Lifetime movie.
I got it. Heartbreak and Triumph. The Hart family story. I don't know. Anyways. Also, you mentioned this story earlier. We got to talk about this. Where it appeared that ESPN had leaked out some early rumors of what the WrestleMania lineup was going to be. And it was looking to be Roman and Rock, Cody and Punk, and Gunther and Seth Rollins. But we kind of have some opinions on this. Personally, I think this is WWE just throwing shit out there just to like get people off the scent of like what their original plans were. What do you think?
I think they're playing us. I think we're getting played like a fiddle.
Yeah.
Because from the Rumble, you feel like it is Cody and Roman.
Oh yeah.
If I was to look at these three matches though and say, okay, which one do I think maybe happens? Maybe Gunther Seth is what I would think.
Well, if you think about it, on Raw, they kind of set it up like with Gunther and Seth, like promo, Cody and Punk's promo. So And I mean, we've been talking about for years Roman against The Rock, so
Yeah.
which I think we are going to get at some point, but I don't think it's going to be at WrestleMania now. So, and I'm happy about that, honestly. But man, this seriously, like, this type of stuff, these rumors and stuff, man, this is some dirty, dirty stuff. Almost sounds like some dirt sheet news.
In a foreign country. Ask Tony Khan. Hey, it's your boy Jay, bona fide member of the Dirt Sheet Press, and here are some stories you may have missed this past week within professional wrestling. Let's start with MJF, the man who came 2 days shy of making it all of 2023 as AEW World Champion. It seems he got some bad news as he learned he may be out of all of 2024, with the earliest possible recovery time being early fall of 2024. So, will this affect the bidding war? Will this affect the Devil storyline? In my personal opinion, I believe it would work out, as Adam Cole seems to not be quite able to wrestle as of yet. And some are saying we may not even see Adam Cole wrestle till July. So, it may work out perfectly, as just a couple weeks later, MJF would also be able to appear in an AEW ring. Also in AEW, Chris Jericho allegations being thrown this way and that. Well, as a result of all these allegations, we were robbed of one of the biggest reunions ever. The reunion of Jericho. Yes, it's not quite clear when this was to happen, at the pay-per-view or on Dynamite the following week. But the Callis family was to gang up and beat down Jericho. And to his rescue was to be No More BS, Paul White, giving us the reunion of Jericho. Not quite sure when we will see this reunion now, with all the allegations swirling around Jericho. But just wanted you to know that Tony Khan knows he has that weapon in his arsenal and is ready to use it. Nick Khan got his best friend The Rock to ink a 3-appearance deal with the WWE, running all the way through early 2025. Finally, Triple H's big announcement, as Money in the Bank will be taking place in Toronto. Well, what if I were to tell you that was not the actual big announcement? Several people blaming it on the social media team for releasing the information 10 hours too soon. Some people think that Triple H is throwing shots at Tony Khan by announcing a big announcement and then coming through with just some tour dates and some pre-sale dates. But what the actual announcement was to be was a merger or partnership that the WWE is expecting to take part in, and something fell through at the last moment, hence the appearance by Becky Lynch and Shinsuke Nakamura. But those just aren't the facts, those are the dirty facts. The Dirt Sheet News!
I think Jay said just come into us a little late, but hey, we love you nonetheless, so it's okay, buddy. But that's the Dirt Sheet News. But hey, let's talking about dirt. Dark Side of the Ring announced their season 5 lineup, and some of the notable ones on there. The Sandman's getting an episode. God, that's gonna be nuts.
Harley Race.
They're gonna do one on Harley Race. They're doing one on Black Saturday. That infamous what happened there. They're doing one on Earthquake, and that kind of surprised me. Like, I hope it's a good one. I hope it's not like they're telling me like some terrible stories about Earthquake, because I loved Earthquake as a kid. Because anytime like a fat guy was on TV, he was like my hero. Even though like he like pretty much crushed Hulk Hogan and killed Jake the Snake Roberts Snake. But anyways, I still love Earthquake. But some of the notable ones. Is there any specific ones you're looking forward to out of this bunch?
Probably the Harley Race one.
That'll be interesting to see, because Harley was a badass, dude. So, but Dark Side of the Ring is coming back, man, and they got a loaded lineup this season yet. Also this week, Chris Jericho. Speaking of Dark Side of the Ring, Chris Jericho. Excuse me. Chris Jericho's Rockin' Rager cruise took place. This was the 5th year they've done it. I was a little surprised because I was like, man, with Royal Rumble weekend going on and stuff, but could have been maybe they already had this booked and it just so happened to fall on Royal Rumble weekend. I don't know, but I'm telling you, I'm going to make it like a goal. I want to go to one of these Jericho cruises just to say I went on a Jericho cruise. So I'm going to try to get to the next one, man.
One of these days.
It's going to happen one of these days. So, but it'll be interesting to see some of the social media. I'm sure that's going to fall out from that. Also this week in the world of wrestling, we got an announcement from AAA announcing the Triple Mania dates. But the biggest thing is it's going to be Vampiro's retirement tour, as he'll be working some dates, which Vampiro, shoot, man. He's probably, I don't know how old he is, but he's got to be up there in his like 50s, I'd say. You've never seen it. There's a great documentary on Vampiro. Check it out on Netflix, man. It's freaking awesome, man. Or not Netflix. I think it's on YouTube. I'm sorry. I got the raw Netflix deal on my mind, man. So, but yeah, AAA, and they're gonna do their usual routine where they have like 3 different shows all throughout like Mexico. And I think one of them's in California too. So, and I enjoy those shows, man. They're pretty cool. So it's definitely got like that WrestleMania vibe to it. No, one guy we haven't talked about yet, really, and that's MJF. I mean, he's pretty much, we haven't really seen him a whole heck of a lot. Obviously because of the injury and stuff, the bidding war of 2024. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to him. But speaking of MJF, our good, close personal friend, Extreme League Wrestling, has one of his great, phenomenal. If you've never checked out any of his like exposés, like going through the history of wrestlers, man, on his YouTube channel, seriously, dude, check them out. They're amazing. But we got an exclusive sneak peek of his next one, which is going to be on the scumbag himself, MJF. So take a look at this.
What makes a villain? Is it the acts against good and common decency? Is it the disregard for the well-being of your surroundings? Or is a villain just a misunderstood individual looking to belong?
If you watched Maxwell Jacob Freeman enter the Nassau Coliseum on December 30th, 2023, you might make the argument for the latter. Because pay the devil his due here. MJF has defied every sense of logic when it comes to being a top star in the professional wrestling industry. Because, to quote the man himself,
this 5'0" ADD riddled Jew boy!
His hands were never going to truly be clean on his quest for the Triple B. He cost the company Man the title that was within his destiny. He gaslit his former hero and became the justful hand of karma. And he cheated every step of the way. But this salt of the earth, this scumbag, rose to be something greater. Because while he's still a scumbag, he became our scumbag.
Because my name is Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I'm better than you, and you know it.
Man, I am so excited to see that. And by the way, this week, our Ruby Ringside Content Creator of the Week, we're kind of cheating here, but wait, it's our show. We're going to go with Extreme League Wrestling as our Content Creator of the Week. We love you, buddy. Seriously, you need to check out his YouTube channel. It has got some amazing stuff on it. Like, it's just, he just keeps getting better and better. It blows my mind. Like, just like the quality and everything of it. We love you, buddy, and we're so glad to be that you're a part of our family here at Pro Wrestling 60. But Extreme League Wrestling, is our Ruby Ringside Content Creator of the Week. Well, let's talk about something that we're pretty familiar with, B-Roll. Squared Circle Expo 4 is coming up this March 30th. Well, the 29th and the 30th. And they announced the Parade of Champions show. And I got to say, so far, I mean, this is no disrespect to last year's show. This one's already blowing it out of the water because there's some matchups here I never thought I'd see. Let's talk about the main event, first of all. For the Squared Circle Expo Championship, it's Matt Cardona defending against Ultimo Dragon? Bro. Ultimo Dragon we're gonna get to see Ultimo Dragon. Like, how crazy is that? That's something I never thought I'd get to say in my life. Also, we found out the NWA title will be defended by EC3 as he puts it up against new NWA signee, a man we got very familiar with last year, one Carson Drake, who is one of the fast up-and-coming stars in the world of wrestling, and Jake Omen, who unsuccessfully challenged for Cardona's championship last year. He's got to climb his way back up the ladder. He's going to have a hell of a task at the Parade of Champions because he's going up against the bro himself, Matt Riddle. And there's going to be plenty more matches announced for this show. But as soon as we saw Ultimo Dragon announced, man, we were like, yeah, we got to get our tickets ASAP.
Yep,
How
but
excited
that's
are you?
not all.
Oh, yeah?
I'm so excited.
Black Label Pro returns to Squared Circle Expo for a second year in a row as they will run a show Friday night. You get to see some of the incredible talent there. I mean, everybody from their champion, Kevin Goo, Mansoor's going to be on it, Billy Starks, Effie, so many other great talent. Sky Blue, you know. This is going to be a freaking awesome 2 days of wrestling. And, of course, we are going to be there at Squared Circle Expo. And we got a very special announcement, exclusive announcement that we're making here tonight on Pro Wrestling 60. We have secured some very special guests. This is huge news. Let's just get right into it. First and foremost, returning for year 2 with us, Ratty Daddy himself, Cole Radrick, will be at our booth at the Squared Circle Expo. So excited to have him back. Every time we get to see him and work with him is always a blessing. We love us some Ratty Daddy. But he's not going to be alone because we are also collaborating with Sankey Collectibles, a.k.a. Ruby Ringside, and they have a very special guest who will be at our booth. One Allie Catch. That's right. Allie is going to be with us at Squared Circle Expo. But you know, when you get Allie, you got to have the one and only, yes, Effie is going to be at Cole TV's booth now Saturday. Now, he's only going to be there for Saturday, though, for at Squared Circle Expo. We are so freaking pumped and excited to be working with, like, Boosie and Cole Radrick. Like, this is going to be so awesome. Like, it's such an honor to work with, like, such amazing talent, and they're going to be there. And you guys are going to have to come by our booths at the Wyndham in Indianapolis. Come meet us, but more importantly, come meet Boosie as well as Cole Radrick. Come get the picture taken with him, an autograph. It's going to be awesome, isn't it, B-Roll?
Yes, it is. Can't wait.
And, yeah, I cannot wait. And we'll have some more information on Squared Circle Expo the upcoming weeks here on Cole TV and Pro Wrestling 60. And our last story of the week, sadly, we lost another wrestling great, the one Ice Train. Great wrestler, passed away this week. I was a huge fan of his in WCW. I loved his work in singles. I was really a fan of his tag team with Scott Norton with Fire and Ice. Awesome tandem. I really wish Ice Train kind of would have got more of a push in the years in WCW, but like stuff happened. But I mean, still, you cannot discount his contributions to World Championship Wrestling, the World of Wrestling, and he's going to be greatly missed. Oh my goodness gracious, B-Roll! I think we somehow did it. Like, we made it through this episode. And personally, want to thank you all for putting up with kind of the, obviously the technical aspect, my sickness. Hopefully by next week, my voice and everything will be coming back to me. It'll be a lot better show. And I want to thank you, B-Roll, for helping me get through this marathon episode of Pro Wrestling 60. God only knows what's going to happen this week in the world of wrestling. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of PW60. I'm XLB the OG along with Mr. B-Roll, and we'll see you next week on a brand new episode of PW60. Everybody have an awesome week.